Hello to my Leos. Leos, happy new moon in Cancer. Yes, we are still in a new moon phase, and the moon is about to move into your sign. And so, something about you knowing where to go, where you're appreciated, and not simply where you tolerate, actually shines a light. Like wherever room you step into, people are inspired by your fire to go where you're appreciated, and not simply where you're tolerated. So what I'm picking up on is that you all have made some major impacts in people's lives in a very positive, high vibrating way. So let's get into your reading. Let's get right into your reading. New love, new you, new career, new life. Well, all right now, Leo. See, I'm look, y'all see me shuffling the cards. I'm telling you, it's so much positive energy about to burst out of this reading for you all. It's not, I'm trying to calm down. Hold on. Let's get into it, Leos. Let's get right into it. Whew, yes, this reading is for the 27th through the 3rd/4th of July. Yeah, it's about to be a celebration for you all. New you, new love, new career, new life. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, new everything. 413, financial freedom. Well, all right, okay. So take back your control. There's a need for you to look at your finances and get them in order. Organizing, understanding, and budgeting your money are all actions that create pathways to more financial abundance in the future. So reflect on an area of your life that does not support your financial freedom. Spend 20 minutes today digging deeper into this financial predicament that you've been ignoring. I keep trying to tell Leos, listen, y'all be out here inspiring people that y'all don't even realize y'all inspiring. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because y'all be just inspired. Y'all don't even understand. Leo step up in the place, but that's if you, especially you high vibrating Leo, it be coming up like people be walking around with sunglasses on around y'all because they feel brand new. That light in you, like that sunlight outside, is like a spiritual cleansing. So when you're high vibrational, and that's why I keep saying turn down for what? When you are high vibrational Leo, right? High, people feel like a new them, a new love, a new career, a new life. I'm telling you all. That's not to boost anybody's ego by any means of it, by any way, shape, form, or fashion. But some people feel like, man, and it's when I say new love, it's not even always in a. Some people may get it twisted and be attracted to you all, but attracted to your light, so you don't get it twisted. That somebody could be automatically like attracted to you in a different kind of way. But people are attracted to high vibrational Leo's light because you all are ruled by the sun. Get into it. Let's get into this reading here. So I did put some information on my TikTok and also on YouTube shorts about transmuting energy, and then also about cord cutting ceremonies, and you all can do both, right? So yeah, you're cutting energetic cords. There's a difference between like you blocking somebody or no longer talking to people and all of this other stuff. Some of you all, like I said before, you know, are encouraged to just pray. You like, I'm praying about something. Prayer warriors. That's what this is. Somebody went into something, somebody pray. You prayed for, if you have financial freedom and you're a high vibrating Leo, you pray for other people to have a financial freedom as well. Yeah. That's how somebody was able to take their control back. That's why somebody's feeling brand new all the way around. Yep. So let's get into it. Yep. Now you can put the past behind you. You can finally put the past behind you. And some energies are trying to drag you into some mess because some energies felt like they were someone else's God. First house, took a first look at somebody and went, oh, okay, I can control this. It's their way or the highway. Whoever the energy was trying to drag you into some mess, you were like, no sir, no ma'am. This is what everybody can relate to, lamenting and crying. Everybody can relate to that. That is not a sign of weakness. That's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of release. So somebody had to release something, whether it was through working out and sweating, whether it was through tears, your tear ducts, whether it was through your waist. Somebody had to release something that's in them. And that's why somebody feels brand new. Because when people come at you like, okay, it's their way or the highway, it's only one way to do certain things, you can apply that to any way in your life. You're going to do what's best for you to feel like a new you, new love, new life, new career. It's not just one way of doing something. It's not. It literally is like this. Somebody telling you the only way to get to number 5, this 5 right here, is for, it's basically saying like all Leos are the same. You know good and well that's not the truth. It's like literally saying somebody saying the only way to get to number 5 in math is a 2 plus 3 is 5. When you know 1 plus 4 is 5. I get the point, right? You already know that there's other ways of getting to this numbers, other ways to get to financial freedom. Somebody was trying to control someone by bringing them, that causing them to cry, causing them to be depressed, low vibrational, draining them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And you went straight into prayer warrior mode, rising above the judgment. Is a judgment card. And now judgment is coming back down on some energies. So yeah. So that people can get to their north node. This is 10th house. 10th house, right? Everybody's not looking for fame. 10th house speaks to career, life goals, achievements, public image, social status. Everybody's not looking for fame. And the divine masculine side of themselves, so that people don't have to feel like, you know, they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders when they're asking for help. When they're asking for help, right? So somebody like judgment is coming down on people who like to play games. You're not interested in playing games. You're putting a manhole cover over the past. You're like, okay, you're moving on from something. You know how to pray. And you're saying, let God's will be done. So source will sort it out. Yep, here's the King of Wands here. And for you, guess what? You don't need somebody to have your back. Source has your back. Here's the King of Wands here. Source has your back. You're putting something behind you. But high vibrating Leos want everybody to have financial freedom. Like you learning how to take your control back. You're putting a manhole cover. Somebody was dragging you into some mess. Something about somebody's sun sign is a water sign. Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. I know that because of this right here. So something about your 10th house though helps you to move on from something. Like something about your you being in your north node, like you being in your 10th house. That's what I'm saying. Like when people it depends on like what Leo you're dealing with. If somebody's dealing with a high vibrating Leo, what? Yeah, listen, some people have been around low vibrating Leos. I'm not taking that away from people, but listen, something about a high vibrating Leo, y'all ain't gonna be dragged into no mess. Mm-mm. People can say what they want, but high vibrating Leos really are all about being a sunny, positive disposition. You ain't about to be dragged into no mess where people are starting at number 5. You're going to have to start off with the Ace of Cups. You're going to have to tell somebody, okay, now what's this for again? And if somebody's not going back to the Ace of Cups, then 2, 3, 4, before we get to 5 of Cups, then you're not dragging me into no mess. Mm-mm. Nope. You're going to pray about something and give it to God by yourself. You're going to talk to God by yourself. This is financial freedom. Source, you sort it out because you thriving. Something about you has been talked about so many times behind your back, Leo. This right here. This usually the 10 of swords person has 10 swords stabbed in their back and somebody just waiting for you to just bleed out in a spiritual sense, like that you're going to be so depressed behind closed doors because people talking about you behind your back. Not a high vibrating Leo. Wrong Leo. They could be talking about somebody could be talking about a whole different Leo. You're not the one. You're not the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're not the one. So somebody's feeling brand new because somebody said, no, let me take something straight to God. Here we have the Ace of Cups here. Something inside of you just feels like, you know what? I need to. Something about your spirit is now like something was unalived in your spirit, like because something is nostalgic for you all, like when people do sneaky stuff behind people's backs, something for you, like in your childhood when people do stuff behind your back, like in a physical sense, you know, when people like something for you, you just like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I like the light to be shining on. So I like positive, high vibrating energy. But something connected you to your childhood. Something connected you to a particular emotion that you're not going back. Something connected you to a particular emotion. Something was very nostalgic for you. So somebody got into prayer warrior mode. Yep. So yeah. Um, yeah, somebody is learning how to protect. Somebody is learning how to protect people who have at least tried. They've tried to go down the path. They drank the poison. They ate the cake like Alice in Wonderland. They woke up in a nightmare and then decided, hey, you know what? This is not for me. I'm going back to my throne. Hey, at least I tried. I'm down to earth and I'm relatable. But nah, mm-mm. And this could be a man or a woman, right? But it makes you quite resourceful because this is something that you identify with, right? This is what you have in common with people. You can identify with that. You're like, no. Somebody just is not feeling when people try to do stuff behind people's back around their sacral chakra. So sacral chakra connects us with ovaries, right? Connects us with ovaries, right? So the other day, I don't know if I did it for the Leo reading or where's my hoodoo deck? I put my hoodoo deck back in there. But something around like the hoodoo deck speaks to let me pull it out for you all. Let me show y'all what I was looking at. I'm gonna leave the camera on so y'all can see. Let me show y'all the card. And this is the person who put this together, she did a phenomenal job, by the way. Okay. Shameless plug there, but kudos to her. High five and everything. She did a phenomenal job in what she did. Well, you know what? Let me read this one because I'm looking at death here in the card because somebody really was obsessed with ending two people, right? And this is what Leos are like, not a high vibrating Leo. I'm gonna read something to you all out of this book here. Because I want y'all to hear it from the book, right? So I know a lot of people got a lot of different kind of decks and stuff like that, but I want y'all to read something. I want y'all to hear something from this. I'm gonna read it straight out the book, right? So the judgment card, and this right here would be them bones, right? So I'm gonna pull out that card, but I want y'all to see something else because we're talking about because the judgment card connects us with death. The death card also connects us with the death card, right? Let me pull these two cards out because I want y'all to see something. For those of you all who are, interested in supporting this artist here, because this deck is phenomenal for real. Like if you're learning about, okay, so this is a death card, this Miss Robinson card right here. Let me read you the story about this in a second, and let me pull out the Judgment card here, show you what it looks like. Because we talking about skeletons in people's closets when we talk about them bones. Judging a book by its cover. Hold on. Because a lot of people cannot rise above the judgment. A lot of people can't just go into, you know what, you know, before I'm judged, before other people can judge me, I got to put an end to somebody because I don't want to be under other people's judgment, but they don't have a problem judging other people. So it's like, we're not each other's gods. So let's start out with this card first. So, and I'm reading straight out the book so y'all can see what I'm talking about. This is how important something is. This is them bones right here. This is a judgment card. That's this card, the same card here, right? 20. But let's start out with this death card because what's hidden in the judgment card is the death card, right? So with Ms. Robinson's card, this is a devil. This is Capricorn's card, right? So somebody was maybe trying to put an end to somebody's either Capricorn or somebody's north node, 10th house, right? Stop somebody from doing something by dragging you into something, right? So now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, right? So something is also connecting us with um, um, hoodoo, right? And somebody knowing how to block energy. So something connecting you with your water, with your dreams, your downloads, right? That you're getting through your dreams. So on my channel, I talk about, and my channel obviously is on the World Wide Web. So, and I would say on my channel a lot, listen to water sounds. So energies were not able to spy and scry into your energy in some way, shape, form, or fashion, but low vibrating energies will try to come in through listening to what you're listening to because they want to be on the same frequency that you're on, right? So here's a story behind this, and that's Genesis 1:2, by the way, 1 verses 2. Miss Robinson is proudly displaying the funeral program of Reginald Patrick. See how this lady is looking back with a smile on her face? I want y'all to see this while I'm reading this. Miss Robinson, don't really know when she was born, but died in 1952, was a hoodoo from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Um, According to the people in her small town, she was a sweet, law-abiding woman unless someone crossed her. One day after church, Miss Robinson saw a few parishioners gathered around a woman named Mrs. Patrick. As Miss Robinson walked by, Mrs. Patrick said loudly that she didn't believe root workers should be welcome into the church and that it would be a bunch of made up nonsense. So Miss Robinson tried her best to ignore her until she noticed people started treating her differently. They were making up excuses for why she couldn't visit. Her clients started canceling appointments. It turned out that Mrs. Patrick was trying her best to destroy Miss Robinson's entire life, right? And so even though she hardly knew her, Miss Robinson finally approached Mrs. Patrick after church and told her to never speak ill of her again, or she would be sorry. Mrs. Patrick laughed and elbowed her cronies and then said that that would never happen. So she might as well go ahead and root, root her then, right? Like put a root on somebody, right? So Miss Robinson told her that she was made for root working, that if she couldn't have what she loved, that if she couldn't have what she loved most, then neither would she, like neither would the other person. So Mrs. Patrick howled with laughter, right? That's another indicator, howling, at the moon, and walked away with the other ladies, leaving Miss Robinson standing there furious. 29 days later, 2 and 9 is 11, right? That is a 11 in many forms. It's a um, master number. That was an indicator that source was like, okay, it's time to get into prayer time because I'm trying to alert you to something. Somebody's about to get off the fence and take some kind of action in doing something. So, but anyway, so Reginald died unexpectedly after having a cold. Everyone, see, these energies are out practicing dark moon magic, right? Dark moon magic, right? So everyone knew that Reginald was Mrs. Patrick's pride and joy. Not only was he her only child, she could not have any more. So she was absolutely devastated by the loss. As the mourners filled out the funeral home, Miss Robinson was seen smiling and fanning herself with a memorial program from across the road. Mrs. Patrick, now totally broken, moved out of town that following day, right? So source is saying to you, to somebody, we talk about them bones. Everybody has some kind of skeletons in their closet, whether they realize it or not, because this is a generational card. This is, family secrets. Like people have all kinds of stuff. But some people, they're like, they will end energies before they let anything come out. They will stop a whole bloodline. They're like, okay, that person can't have any more kids. We're going to end it. We're going to make sure that thing is ended, right? Source is saying to you, somebody was trying to drag you into some stuff that could have ended someone else, but something on the inside has already ended someone because of what was done in secret. What was done in secret. So you're learning how to rise above the judgment when You realize you're being dragged into some stuff that you don't even realize what you're being dragged into. You just like, you don't even know what the heck. Somebody won't even tell you why something was created, what's going on. Just okay, Leo is a fixed sign. Leo gonna save the day. Somebody had no idea what they were being dragged into, like had no clue as to what they were being dragged into. So it's a new everything. All somebody said was that somebody was a garden tool, right? And that they were flying somewhere. 9 and night would bring us back to 8, which means taking flight, like flying, traveling somewhere, right? Traveling somewhere, carrying something. That's all somebody got, just bits and pieces of something. I mean, everything was just fragmented. Somebody didn't even have a full nothing about anything. Um, but something how you identify with not only confidence, prayer life, but you also identify with being free spirit, right? So that's why somebody feels like a new everything all the way around. New you, new love, new career, new life. And you're like, you're not being dragged into things. Not when you can pray about it and ask source, that sources will be done. So for some of you all looking in your cards here, looking at your cards here, you are down to earth and relatable because some of you all are already in your north node. And that's why we started this right here. Some of you all are already in the job that source created for you. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about a job title. It's your purpose, why you're here on planet earth, why you had to go through all the things you went through to get to your throne, to become a prayer warrior, right? Something is generational for you. You broke a generational cycle chain or curse. You could be the first person that could be responsible for helping people in your family move. You could be that person that's creating like a community for your entire family to live, everybody close together. Something you're doing, you're the first person in your family to do it. Whoever you are, it doesn't even really matter. Man, woman, it doesn't really matter. But your energy, something about your energy makes people feel brand new in every aspect of their lives, their career, their life, their love, their self-love included, and just themselves, just period. Just makes people feel brand new. So that's what Source is saying. Remain high vibrational. You are breaking a generational cycle, chain, or curse. Yeah. Yeah. And you're grateful that something is behind you. That's how your wishes are being fulfilled. That's how you know which frequency that you're on, because you're praying for people's absolute best, that they're not your competition in any way, shape, form, or fashion. People are not your competition. You are confident that Source puts you on planet Earth for a purpose, and that's it, and that's all. So you can move on from something. That's what you also have in common with people. You're a prayer where you pray about it, you give it to Source, and you move on. You're grateful. You say, okay, Source, you know, somebody like Wonder Twin Powers activate. No, but for real, somebody is like, I pray about it, give it to God, and I'm just moving on. I'm just moving on. What will be, will be. That's what I'm saying here in the cards. So somebody is free from something. Somebody is free. You're free from something, right? Energies are free from something to, expand. It's right here. You're taking a leap of faith. You're expanding something. Yeah. So people are going to think that you're talking about people behind their back, because people are going to be like, oh, you turned your back. See this right here? People going to think that you turned your back because, oh, you put so much energy into something. Now you turning your back, whatever. You're not turning your back. You have a purpose here on planet Earth. But when people come at you with 5 of cups and they don't tell you, don't, and then they come back later once something is over, wanting to start at the beginning, it's like, nah. Somebody should have told you something up front, whoever it is, if you're a manager. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, some of you all stepped into a job and your manager told you something, whether it's whoever, somebody stepped into something and somebody only gave you like 5 of cups, and something about um you all being inspired to be this protective type of energy. All somebody had to do was, cry about something, and you went right into protection mode. Source is like, okay, let me pray about something, because I want Source's will to be known. I don't like being confused. Let me just pray about it and give it to Source. Is the 2 of Wands here? Yeah. So like I said, somebody baited 2 people separated 2 energies, baited some energies into some stuff, you know. somebody had big windows. I don't know if you have big windows in your house or if you're in an apartment or whatever, but somebody said big windows. See how this person's hands, they're not even on the window. Somebody did not want to leave fingerprints, right? Um, but sources say you're not going back to being confused again about local versus international. When it's in terms of traveling, you're not trying to stop somebody into going wherever they're trying to go to. Something about your energy is very free spirited. Something about your energy is very free spirited. Somebody's north node could be Sagittarius. It could be your north node is Sagittarius or somebody else's north node. And that's what you could have in common with some energy. Something about your north node could be Sagittarius. So let's see. So let's see what else we have going on here. Yeah, so some energies were separated and baited into things because they wanted to expand. It's something that you can definitely relate to, but I feel like what somebody has in common with somebody, and I don't know who I'm talking to because this is a general reading and this is what I'm, online. But what somebody has in common um, with other people is your north node is the same. Your north node, somebody's north node is in Sagittarius. Is a Ten of Wands here. Even if it's not Sagittarius, whatever your north node is, you have the same north node as a lot of people, right? And so somebody's now learning how to, in this year 2025, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 5 is 9, to find out what you have in common with energies and why, some energies, what other prayer warriors have to go through. Like some of the things, that's what somebody is now learning is that, okay, other people who are prayer warriors are not your competition. They can stand in the gap for you. They can pray for you. They don't see you as competition. They'll pray for you before they pray on you. That's what Source is trying to tell somebody is like somebody is seeing that, okay, somebody wanted to completely end somebody altogether. Altogether. Somebody wanted to end somebody altogether or end two people altogether. And so they were like, okay, because we want you to follow. We want you to follow this lead. We want you to work, not work on yourself. We want you to follow how we, work. So somebody was definitely very meticulous in finding out about people's health, their work habits, their daily routines, fitness, pets, service to others, diet, spiritual practices, etc. Right? Two energies were doing that and saying that they love people and they were doing it for financial freedom, trying to help somebody to be financially free. But what it was a swap. Yeah. Something was done in court. Some kind of injustice was done in court. That's seventh house. Seventh house is, so what you're dealing with here is, these are polarity signs, right? So Aries, the polarity sign to Aries is Libra, right? We're not talking about a particular Aries or a particular Libra, right? We're talking about polarity, right? So what you may have been dealing with, just kind of sort of on your journey, what you may have been dealing with on your journey was dealing with some energies who were impulsive, aggressive, impatient with something, right? Or indecisive, people pleasing, or avoidant of something. So, okay, go do something. In other words, enemies, right? Energies that, that oppose something. So if they feel like, okay, well, if you don't do it this way, then guess what? Then I'm gonna have to end you and let you see how root work works. I'm gonna have to end you and let you see how root work works, right? So that's what Source is trying to tell you is that you can think stuff is just in the physical world if you want to. But a lot of people are awakening to their gifts, and people who can rise above all of that are not being hit. Some people know how to send that work back because somebody is thinking that, oh, you're the reason why, whoever you are, somebody's thinking that you are the reason why. Somebody in your family, or friendship group somehow thinks that a high vibrating Leo is practicing some kind of dark magic when it's really not that the case. That's not the case at all. Actually, it's them vibrating low and it's coming back to hit them. It's a return to sender. This is a family member, it's family, friend, whether it's work family, friendship family, whoever. Somebody that you deem as okay. I had to create some more space, but yeah. That's the evidence of you vibrating higher and you being a leader that you are. You're a prayer warrior. Somebody is, um, something was nostalgic for you. Something was nostalgic for whoever you are. And you just said, mm-mm, nope. I'm gonna pray about it. I'm gonna give something to source. I'm gonna give something to source, and I'm just gonna give something to source. Right? Here's the five of Pentacles here. Yeah, something was done to make someone feel worthless, like to keep them out of the career, keep them out of from away from their life goals, their achievements, public image, keep them away from social status, and keep them away from fame. Something was done to keep somebody from being in divine masculine energy, not around masculine energy, because that could be toxic or feminine. I mean, toxic or divine, but being around energies who inspire people, like high vibrating Leos. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, but if you're a high vibrating Leo and you're a person who is inclusive, right? You're operating in the spirit of love. You can make the connection, right? By being structured and authoritative on your own. You made a connection with source as a prayer warrior. You don't have to be in bullying mode at all, ever. You really don't have to, because it's no competition. So emotionally, you're gonna feel like you hit the jackpot. Some of you all, if it's somebody who is low vibrating that's tapped in, will feel like they lost some kind of a competition. Never was a competition. It never is. So it's just trying to tell somebody, learn how to rise above judgment. Because guess what? Everybody has bones, skeletons. Everybody has skeletons in their closet with people sitting around. And the first time everybody living in a glass house, you're breaking some kind of generational cycle chain and curse. Some of y'all don't even know y'all breaking a generational cycle chain and curse. When you start at the cups energy right here, when we talk about a seed was planted in a ovary or something like that, a seed was planted and that thing grows, and somebody had to go through a rebirth to see what the heck was happening here. That you were actually breaking some kind of generational cycle chain and curse. Somehow source, as a prayer warrior, somehow source used somebody to break a generational cycle chain and curse and didn't even know, because the energies that dragged you into something, source is saying to you, did not start at the root. Did not start at the root. Didn't start at the root. So somebody's psychic gifts are overwhelming to somebody. You could have been around a high vibrational Pisces, but you could have encountered a low vibrational Pisces, meaning that you could have been around a high vibrational, and this is Pisces anywhere, your north node, I mean, not north node, 12th house. 12th house. So somebody is ending something with energies who are escapist, overly idealistic, and vague. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like people who are just like, oh, I can't really tell you this. I really can't tell you that. Like, that kind of stuff. And you are aligning yourself with people who are empathetic, artistic, and spiritual, right? And spiritual, right? That's high vibrating. So there's sun, moon, rising, Venus don't have to necessarily be Pisces. It could be, but it can be anywhere in their birth chart. Pisces just happens to rule 12th house. And 12th house is all about spirituality, addictions, psychic abilities, healing, solitude, endings, world service, secrets, emotions. Meaning in those areas, people aren't being judged in those areas. People are like, okay, rise above all of that. What people thinking about you. And that's why people think that a lot of Leos are arrogant, because y'all know how to rise above all of that. You're like, okay, guess what? I'm put a manhole cover. This is how you connect with some people. You can connect with people that's like, okay, I can go ahead and create something new. I can go ahead and end this and go ahead and create something new. I can create something new. Your wishes are still being fulfilled. You and somebody's wishes are still being fulfilled. So, in other words, somebody's not sweating something. Somebody's like, okay, knew everything. And that's what source is trying to say. You broke some kind of a generational cycle chain and curse. Somebody broke a generational cycle chain and curse as a secret Somebody cracked the code on a secret that they didn't even realize. Somebody found out some information they didn't even know they was finding out information. Here we had the Ace of Wands here. Yeah. So you about to hop on stage, or you about to be the, when we say the Ace of Wands here. Yeah. So somebody's inspired. Somebody could have love coming across their path. Yeah. Somebody could have love coming across their path. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody could have love coming across their path. Here we have the King of Cups here. Yeah. That's what Source is trying to tell somebody, that this right here, if you've been in the presence of a master manipulator, like in your family, and now you know how to control your emotions when it comes to things, and somebody felt like, okay, let me see, 6, something was nostalgic for you. You got to remember stuff on social media, like all of the stuff that you've seen with like celebrities and stuff. That's what lets everybody know that you're part of the human race. It can be anything. You can listen to a song and start remembering some stuff from the past. You can watch a piece of art that can connect you with something from the past. Anything can connect you with something from the past. And so it's like we're not each other's gods. Somebody is focusing on their health, their physical and their mental health. Yeah, looking at your cards here. That's why you feel like you have hit the jackpot, and just learning how to control your emotions. Yeah, because somebody wanted to bring somebody low vibrational, or some low vibrational energies wanted to bring an end to something, wanted to cause someone to have a secret tower behind their back in court. And sources like, like by trying to expose people's skeletons in people's closet, but something came full circle and was returned to saying like, no. So it's like, no, everybody gonna be exposed. So if like so if let's say it's in your workplace and your manager is saying, oh, they're gonna fire you, guess what? Source will make it sure that somebody gonna walk past and hear them say that. So you got to, so yeah, Source is gonna make sure. Yes, a lot of familiar spirits around, like people are just real familiar with an energy in a family, work family. When I say family, y'all know what I mean. It's not just blood relatives. Work family, spiritual family. Y'all know what I'm saying. Family. Yeah. So here we have do it your way. You were never meant to fit in. You were born to be wild and free. Force of nature. Here to build new and better worlds. Allow yourself to go and do that. Yeah. Somebody's confidence level is coming back. Because somebody remembers, oh, no, I'm a prayer warrior. Okay. When I start getting overwhelmed, I start praying. I start creating room and time to pray. Everything is here. Embrace the spiritual belief that everything already exists in the here and now. Live in the present moment and be grateful for what you have. I feel like this right here with this judgment card, you broke a generational cycle. Whoever this is for, you're going to have to pray to God and ask God, okay, for clarity. Like, what kind of cycle chain or curse did I break? But you broke some kind of cycle chain and curse, family curse, and you was the first person to do it. Somehow, Source used you. Here's the key, right? All you do is with ease and enthusiasm is the path to your goal. Actions are secondary. Make the energy within your primary focus. Do not underestimate the little joys in life, right? Do not underestimate the little joys in life. Yeah. Yeah, because whoever this is, the Five of Cups, is trying to drag you into some mess. You're like, no. Yeah, the beginning. There's still time to adjust or start over. Feel like flowing freely through your being. All your wishes can come true in the creative potential of a new beginning. That is what I have for you, Leos. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, you are down to earth and you are relatable. I see somebody being a lot more conservative with their time moving forward, realizing that Nobody holds the key to somebody else's life. You can pray for people. You can lead people to water, but you can't force them to drink it. And that's that. Sacrifice. Sometimes surrender is painful. God's cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's a sacrifice to love. Yep. Pluto is in Aquarius until 2043, March 8th, I believe, until 2043. And Source is the one that's resetting planet Earth, like returning everything back to love. So somebody is, when people want to operate in hate, again, take only what resonates with you. When you hear readers, even if you are a reader, Source is saying, hey, look, operate in the spirit of love. Sometimes Source will take you down to a lower frequency to help bring people into a light. Like, okay, come on, learn how to transmute that energy. So speaking of transmuting energy, I do have step-by-step instructions on how to transmute energy on my community page and on TikTok for those of you all, and how to do a cord cutting ceremony step by step. Even mantras, you can journal, but yeah, this moon in Cancer is going to help you to learn how to use your time wisely to create. So whatever it is you're trying to create a new business, trying to create a schedule to pray or journal, or just create. That's what Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do. So that is what I'm seeing for you all. That's where you're taking your Super Leo cape off and you all are creating. Yeah. So, yeah, some of the things that you all can do to in this moon in Cancer is, because it's a powerful time for emotional renewal, setting intentions related to home, family, self-nurturing, is, maybe create, in terms of emotional intentions and manifestation, you can create a journal prompts or intention letters. And that's really just write about how you want to feel emotionally safe, or who you want to feel close to, or what emotional patterns you're ready to release, or moon water with emotional intentions. You can leave a jar of water under the new moon and infuse it with words and of symbols representing peace, protection, or emotional strength. Another thing you can do, number 2, would be like redesign a home or create a sanctuary space. That's why somebody's like, okay, I'm going to pray about it and give it to God. I got other stuff that I need to do. And I'm doing stuff that's going to make me feel more safe and secure and protected and feel more nurtured, in my space, in my safe space. So that's what somebody can connect with. Somebody's like, okay, I want everybody to feel nurtured and safe. So I can pray about it, give it to God, and move on. Even when people think that you turn your back on them, right? So you're creating a family. Somebody could also be creating a family recipe or a memory box that's compiling comforting recipes, family traditions, or ancestral stories that somebody could be doing. You can also do some kind of artistic and healing expression. That's emotional art or poetry. That's paint or write from a place of vulnerability, especially about childhood, motherhood, or emotional experience. Also a vision board focused on home, love, and healing. So it's a lot of things that somebody can do. Some of y'all are going to be creating your own oracle cards, oracle decks, since you watch tarot already, or tarot cards. Something constructive that you're going to look back and say, okay, this is part of your legacy. So when people go and look for bones, they're realizing, they're looking for skeletons in your closet. Yeah, you broke some kind of generational cycle, chain, or curse. You're using your time wisely by keeping people enlightened. Hey, these are things that you can create when you're in hermit mode. Yeah, you don't have to create a nightmare, because you don't have to create a nightmare just because somebody's thriving, right? Because somebody didn't meet some kind of unfortunate end behind closed doors. Because everybody has been here, talked about behind their back. And some people, they don't survive that. Some people do. So some people, they create more nightmares. They 8 of Swords a situation, 7 of Swords a situation. And you're like, you don't need to go back through all of that. You don't need to skip a step. You said, you know what? I'm just going to pray about it, give it to God, and I'm moving on. That was it. That's it, and that's all. That's what I have for you all. So like I said before, something is over. Yeah, something is over. You're moving on. New everything. Yep, you're free. Yep, you're free from something. You put a lot of energy into something and you are absolutely free. You're free. You can find somebody finally moving on. That is what I have for you all, Leos. Keep shining bright. Don't turn down. Don't turn down that light. Don't turn down that light. You do not want to align with energies who are trying to drag you into some mess and you don't even know what's fully going on. Just pray about stuff and just move on. Pray about it and move on. Move on with your life. That's right, your path. Dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and illusions. There it is. So yeah, Source is saying that you're no longer going to assume whatever frequency you're on, Leo. You are no longer going to assume that people are judging you. You're just going to pray about it, ask God for clarity, and say, hey, if Source says, hey, I need you to move on from something because it's just sitting in your mind and you just, I feel like that I'm being judged. I feel like somebody talking. So it said, no, you just going to move on. You're going to dead a situation. You're going to just move on. You're like, I'm moving on from this because I'm overthinking. So I'm putting through way too much energy into something. I feel like I'm burned out. I'm confused. I don't know what's this and that. So say, no. Like I don't know the full something that's going on. I'm this and that. So it's no, because you got to pray about it. You got to pray about something. This is the first sign. This is the last sign. There's so much missing in between in that wheel of zodiac signs and the houses. It's like somebody went from first house to seventh house to eighth house. Well, this is judgment, so that's not the death card would be eighth house, and this was not the original card that came out in your deck. I just brought it out for just the purpose of the story of what was happening here. But and then also 12th house. So look how many other rooms were missing in that wheel. Look how many rooms were missing in that wheel of confusion for somebody. Yeah. So when your manager or whoever is bringing you into stuff, dragging you into something, oh, no, I need to start from A. I don't like to start it. I don't like to start in the middle or something. Like, come on, you're gonna tell me from the beginning what's going on. You will get there. You can't force flowers to grow or plants to sprout. Be patient and respect that everything happens in its own way in time. Yeah, but I'm telling y'all, Leos, y'all are inspiring a lot of people, and I'm talking about high vibrational, okay? High vibrational. High vibrational Leos, so we're crystal clear here, are confident, charismatic, and generous. Low vibrational Leos are arrogant, stubborn, and domineering. So that's that. That's what I have for you all, Leos. So wherever you are in your journey, you hold the key to your life. But I'm telling y'all, even my cross watchers, some of you all have not run across a whole lot of low vibrating Leos. And if you do, you'd have quickly scram. You'd quickly just been out of there because you would have felt like somebody was just pouncing on anything that you say or do. But no, not high vibrating Leos. So let's keep it high vibrational. Like I said, keep it high vibrational. You're putting a manhole cover over something. You're moving on from something, and your wishes are being fulfilled. So, yeah, I feel like you hit the jackpot. All right, that's what I have for you. Bye.